So here is the first forward registration mode. This is an example environment, and yeah, say for example the IP addresses of two Huawei USM switches is having this IP address 192.168.110.117, and the second one is 118. They want to forward a SIP message from field is transparently transmitted, right? So it's they're not using their own domain name to replace terminal domain name. So when Huawei phone makes a call from field will carry the IP address of the SBC. And the interconnection virtual IP addresses of the two SBCs and the phone is 192.168.110.50. So this is the you can create a virtual IP, or you can say if you want to access behind NAT, you have to define the NAT and the NAT port for that one. So the configuration idea, the SBC binds the switch to the phone through the domain and port. So first, configure two SIP ports for interconnection. So we use this 5061 and 5062. Then configure two ports for interconnection to the USM, that is 5067 or 5066. Then you need to obtain the domain name of Huawei by capturing packets. So we need to make sure that we need to use the IP addresses, right? Because Huawei sends you the domain name, but however, we need to make use of the correct IP addresses. Yeah, so this is the login page. So the default port, you need to use the IP, the one that you have, and this is the port 5000. So log in as admin, use the password as admin, then click OK. So here, this is to configure the network, SIP ports and their corresponding network ports. So go to the network side and configure the SIP port and specify the network port of the virtual IP address that is being used. So say for example here, we have mentioned the requirement for the NAT or the virtual LAN IP that is 192.168.110.50. So, and this is the IP address of our SBC. And try to configure in this way in the network page. Then you need to configure the PBX, configure the switch IP. So go to PBX page and click add, then configure the name. So say for example, I have to the 150G and this is the USM. So you can rename, you can also rename that later on, but for configuration, you can do a simple name to that one. And of course, you need to input the maximum calls for that one. So here, in most cases, only one is configured, right? So it multiple switch IP that can be used as in a group. So just simply do to the PBX page, then click add, then configure the name and the maximum calls of your PBX. So here, after you configure, you need to edit the button under the existing page. So this one button and enter the IP address of the USM. So click the endpoints and add, then enter the PBX IP address. And you need to using the port 6061 with the PBX as defined on the previous requirement. So you can do the interface. This is the interface to connect the endpoints to your IP-PBX address. So after addition is complete, the following figure is displayed. So we have, this is the USM test, maximum calls 100, and it will be displayed here. So you have the host name IP and the interface that using the port 6061. Yeah, so here, it's very important that the PBX ID needs to be recorded for binding with the domain. So you need to click OK using this ID and enter the page again. So here, you need to, the format is domain name and the port. So as I've said, once you trace the IP address in the domain name. So 192.168.110.50, then use the port 5061. So when the SIP message is received from the field, the domain name is sent to the SBC through the specified port. And it is legitimate message. No? So this is the domain type registered to PBX, and the map points is 1. As previously here, you need to make sure that you are mapped that to the PBX ID. So map endpoints to 1, then click OK. Okay, so after that, you need to configure the domain name management. So you can define, yeah, this is just several map points already. So, but we focus on the first part here. So we defined already map to endpoints 1. So it's specifically for the port, try to be cautious with the port numbering, 5061, 5062. So it refers to the requirements of your network. So after that, I think you can click and do the media configuration. So for regards to the media configuration, we have a particular example here. The streaming media between the phone and the SX10000 is encoded with G722. So here, SBC can be converted to PCMU interaction with the central office. So, however, there are such limitations because only the IP phone are supported for outbound calls to the switches. So the encoding will be triggered according to the setup, but incoming calls from the switches is not allowed. So here we have an example. The configured codec is PCMU and the switch is specified. So here, when the outbound call codec of the phone is G729, both the phone and the SBC are coded with 729, and the SBC and the switch are coded with PCMU. So here, the switch incoming call carries the G729. This is the incoming G729 and PCMU. So now the phone, the switch, and the SBC will only use the G729 codec. So that is with regards to the media configuration and with regards to the media translation. Yeah, this is we have here the configuration page on this part here. So you can edit the media template, select and disable the codecs and click OK. And of course, you can define the codec name for that one. So yeah, on the PBX page, you can select the PBX to edit the endpoints. So go to we use the USN test endpoints and use the correct codec that you have set previously. And yeah, this is the template that you can call for using the template codec 1, right? So this is one that you set previously in the media configuration. So here is the added domain name and port binding mode. So this is just an example. We have set already 192, the domain name, 192.168.110.50. Then this is the port 5061. We already mapped the endpoints to the PBX that we have set, PBX ID 1. So when port 5061 receives a SIP message with the domain name of 192.168.110.50, it binds the central switch switch to the PBX ID 1 as we have mapped to your specific map endpoints. So again, when port 5061 receives a SIP message with the domain name with the port 5061, it binds again to the map endpoints 1. So a PBX ID can be bound by multiple domain name. So as you can see here, we can add and we can also map the PBX ID 1 to multiple of domain names. So say for example, the 7, we map here to these 2 here. Yeah, this is a sample environment with regards to the peer-to-peer connection. So we have the operator's IMS. So we have this IMS for these 2 IP addresses. And of course, we have the CMI gateway. So we need to connect point to point through the SX10000. And the IP of our SX10000 is 125.212.231.223. So the third requirement is we receive a call starting with the caller number sent to this IP, and receive a call starting with this caller's number sent to this IP, and all calls receiving +1 to +9 sent to this IP address. So the configuration idea, the SBC binds to switch to the phone through the domain and port. We can configure two SIP ports for interconnection with terminals, say for example 5080 and 5060. Then establish a caller ID matching rules and routes to achieve the interconnection. So go to network management and create the listening port for 5060 and the 5080 and using the UDP protocol. Okay. So we define the ports. After that, add the groups corresponding platform. So it is a career group, right? So we need to add that one, click add, then put the name. So we use these three names here. You can define this name. So three names, you can define that. You can add to this side here, add the corresponding platform. You can add here. And after that, you need to add the corresponding IP addresses as well, right? So you need to add the corresponding IP addresses. So here is the outbound interface. So record the corresponding carrier ID. So this is the group name, carrier ID 1. This is the host name IP, and carrier ID 2. This is the host IP, and carrier ID 4 for CGV, and this is the host IP. Okay. So after that, you can define. So as you can see here, we define the interface for 5060 for the carrier ID 1, 5080 for the carrier ID 2, and 5080 using the carrier ID 4. And you can also do the configuration for inbound routes because we define the caller number priority. You can define the matching role here. So define according to the rules that is being specified. So here, you can do the matching role. As you can see, all one, go to career, career 2. So you can do the matching rule number here with regards to the call prefixes. So you can define, go to inbound routes, num routes, then add and define the number rule as the requirements on the deployment, right? Okay, so next is options monitoring. You can send options to the platform, and the platform needs to be configured in the PBX. So yeah, go to the endpoints and create a description. Say for example, this career name sending option, and you can monitor the sending of options to the platform. So you can do that as well. So here at the top of the page, a message should be displayed indicating that the PBX and the carrier groups have the same configuration. So this will take the carrier rules as the priority. Yeah, so this one is about the some do the configuration on the back end, right? So you can go to the path here, run this command and check the parameter. So you can ping the interval from 0 to interval 60. So the options message is sent every 60 seconds. So you can set this parameter. After that, click to restart so that it will apply the modifications on your on the system. Okay, so for load balancing, this is the requirement. The carrier PBX interconnects two trunking gateways to the SBC to implement load balancing for the outbound calls. So we have the IP for both SX10000, 192.168.1.100, and 172.16.0.100. And these are the IPs of the TG 1.101 and 1.02. The IP address of the switch is 172.16.0.1.0.1. So here, switch outbound callers are this using this number to TG to implement the load balancing. So yeah, make sure that this caller from TG will implement a load balancing. So what is the configuration idea? So for peer-to-peer calls, one of the parties must be a carrier group to the switch that needs to join the carrier group. Then add the TG to the PBX group, then configure the same port and select the route corresponding to the load balancing, right? So we can set like this. We can add a carrier group and configure the switch IP address to it. So go to carrier group, then create the name, go to endpoints, and configure the IP address. Then go to the PBX group. So you define that as your TG, and you can add the two IP of the trunking gateway. So add here, click add to the endpoints, and use input the two IP addresses of your TG to this TG group. Okay, then click OK. So to configure the inbound role, go to inbound roles, num roles, then you can click add, then define the name and number of roles, right? So the number role you can define like this. And of course, make sure to define the carrier group name. Right? We can say TG group load balancing. Then click OK. Then to configure the outbound roles, go to outbound routes, noun routes, then yeah, select the name and the rule from to this out matching number, and using this rule, right? This is one of the requirements to send 612027000 calls to the switch. Then make a name for the carrier group. Then click OK. Yeah, this is for the NAT configuration. So usually, if in regards to using the NAT, so you need to go to the network and add a new port. So say for example, the NAT network port should be used 5066. Then the network port you have already defined, previously defined. You can just simply search that and use the network port. And you can select the UTP for the protocol, UDP, TCP, and yeah, and later on for the TLS. So make sure you need to input the NAT address here. Then click OK. Then you need to enable the R port. Usually R port is used for the NAT, right? In the public IP will, I think this is related to NAT functionality, the R port. So make sure go to the PBX endpoints, then enable the R port. So this is regards to the corresponding PBX. So say for example, we have the OM 200, something like that. And make sure that the R port is enabled when you are using the NAT. Then, of course, you can do some modification with the media address configuration. So with regards to NAT, you can select NAT address. So go to application, media, then make sure to enable the NAT address. And of course, you can also on the RTP auto synchronization. Yeah, that's the NAT configuration. Now let's go to recording configuration. So for the recording function, you need to enable this function on the PBX. So go to PBX, then endpoints, then make sure to enable the recording function. Then how to retrieve and listen the downloaded recordings, go to call detail records, and yeah, you can search the call ID, and you can listen or even download the recording. So you can do that. And You can see the several type of several call detail records. Then yeah, this is to enable the corresponding RTP port on the PBX. So yeah, this is just go proceed directly. So last but not the least, we mentioned about the backend maintenance. So again, we have the license configuration. So once you have installed the device, and you need to provide the application code on your machine, and you can send this to our sales team, and the sales team will provide you the license file. So this is an example. We have here a concurrency maximum here with just 20 and the minimum limit of 100. So yeah, this is how to have the license configuration. Then yeah, we have the capability for ethereal capture. We can go to ethereal capture, then just click start, and after that it is click stop, and the ethereal capture, the file here will can be shown and can be downloaded. Yeah, with regards to log, you can have the log configuration. You can set here all the error log or the with regards to SIP, and so you can select the log level. And of course, the system log, you can also see here the system log. So who access your SX10000, you can go here. And of course, they have a option to move the log. You say, for example, you can turn this one on. You can select the specific directory. So you can select the percent. So once the percent of 90%, it reaches to 90%, you can move that to the another directory. You can do that as well. And with regards to call log, you can show you the different logs on the system. And of course, we have a new feature to disable the APP Armor service. So generally, this APP Armor is, I think, included in the Ubuntu system. So if the Armor APP server is enabled on the server, some of, I think mostly the packet capture or the ether capture is affected. So we advise to close this program access on the back end. Just simply implement this command: systemctl stop app armor to stop the app armor service, and to disable it, use system ctl disable app armor. Okay. So again, once you do that, this service app armor is no longer started after the server is rebooted. So by that, you can generally capture the ether capture on your SX10000. Yeah, there are some backend maintenance command that you can use. So enable the debug mode. You can set this command. And if you want to do the modification after the make sure to restart the system. Then some special SIP messages, log printing, you can do as well this command. So yeah, implement this command. And after that, make sure that you restart the system as well. And you can also define the IP tables. Yeah, like this. So you can define the IP tables at the back end and make sure to restart the service. And you can also delete the rule. Yeah, you can use this command, L input line numbers, then this 11 refers to the line number, so you can define specific numbers to that. And of course, make sure that it should be restarted the service. So yeah, I think that's all for the SX3, SX10000 and SX100. So that's the training for today. And if you wish to see the try to make a practice or try to make a testing and have an experience with using our SX3000, I would suggest so you can contact our sales guys, and they're very willing to help you with your and assist you with your queries.
Thank you, Ramel. And guys, please feel
Yeah, thank you,
free to
Hannah.
ask the question. You can speak out or you can share in the message group. And we are gonna share the presentation after the training. Thank you. Any question? Okay, we have a question. How about Opus coding?
Codec. Let me check with the. I can show you the GUI. Everyone can see here. Yeah, we can check. Oh, sorry. We can check if we have the opus. So as far as in the data sheets, we don't mention that, but yeah, maybe we can already have the. Yeah. So I'm not sure if we have already the opus because on so far we don't mention that on the data sheet. So I will also try to to verify that on our SQI team. Opus. Opus codec.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ramel.
Okay, thank you, Hannah.
And we are
So
going to have another meeting in next week.
yeah, next on Tuesday next week we have another one. Yeah.
Yeah, and
You
thank you,
have a
everyone.
nice weekend, everyone.
Yes, and we are gonna share the presentation after the training. And thank you for joining us. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye.